Alright, guys, welcome back to episode 5, the finale of the Steve Clarke experiment. We put Steve Clarke in the Scotland job here, and we're going to see how well he has done. You've seen the first 4 episodes, and to be honest, it wasn't really the success I was expecting him to be, but I think there was steady progress made. We never qualified for any major tournament, but at the same time, I think the results were there. We were getting right to the last stage, the playoffs. We were missing out by goal difference, missing out by a single point on one occasion. And if you looked at the win percentage, I believe before we left episode 4, the win percentage for Steve Clarke during his reign as Scotland manager was like 63%, which is astonishing for a Scotland manager. Fucking Alex McLeish probably had like 6.3%, never mind 63, so it's good to see that Steve Clarke is taking us forward, but he hasn't got us to a major competition, so the heartbreak's still there. Still 26 years now in game time. It is 26 years since we were last at a tournament, which was the 1998 World Cup. But with that said, this is the finale, guys, and we are going to find out whether or not Steve Clarke got us in to the 2024 Euros. I really hope he did, and if he did, then let's hope we can do well, and possibly, I'm not going to say win it, but it'd be nice if we could get out the group stage, especially now that they've expanded the Euros. We now know that it is 6 teams of 4, and in 4 of the groups, 3 teams go through. So, if Northern Ireland can get into the knockout stages of the Euros, if Wales can get into the knockout stages of the Euros, then I think we should be able to do it. So, let's see how Steve Clarke got on. And you can see he is still the Scotland manager. We did kind of fuck up in the first episode. Who was it came in? Oh, some absolute shite guy, Paul Lambert, and he fucked everything right up, and I was blaming Steve Clarke. I was like, how the hell Steve Clarke done this? Why have we been humped off all these teams? And it was because Paul Lambert had the job, so at least we managed to figure that out. But you can see, Steve Clarke is still the manager. Assistant manager is Peter Grant. James McFadden is a coach. Still, Scott Gemmel's in there. Tony Craig. Craig Gordon is the under-19 manager, which is surprising. And then we have Darren Jackson, the under-19 assistant manager. So, let's figure out, guys, did we qualify? I'm going to say we did. I've got a bit of faith. I think Steve Clarke's done it. I think we've got a very young team. I think through every year, man, I think the squad's improving. So, let's go and find out. Alright, so first up, the first bite of the cherry, as you know, is the European League. We were in Division C, Group 3, and we've done actually pretty well. Look at those results. 4-0 against Lithuania, 2-0 against Hungary. Disappointing defeat to Czech Republic and Prague, but at least I'm hoping that Stevie Clarke didn't go with the shite bag Craig Levein 4-6-0, and we were actually very unlucky in that. Look, we actually took the lead through Oliver McBurney, only for Czech Republic to claw one back through Ales Matui, and then Fedor Gebre Selassie in the 90th minute steals the win for Czech Republic, so it's very unlucky there. We bounced back though with a 3-1 win against Hungary at Hampden, and then a draw in Kaunas against Lithuania, and then we finished off the group game, or the group series, with a draw at Hampden against Czech Republic. Kieran Tierney getting the goal back, and will that be enough, guys, to get us top of the group? Let's find out. And it was, yes, so there you go, just by a point, so kind of fortunate there. You can see Czech Republic, they did beat us, but they also drew 3 games, 1 against us, 1 against Lithuania, and 1 against Hungary. We had the extra win, albeit we did lose to Czech Republic, but us getting that 4 wins to their 3 meant that we did finish top of the European International League, and that does give us a back door into the Euros. So if we don't qualify through the European qualification group process, then we do have a second chance, a second bite at the European cherry, and hopefully we can take that. But let's find out how we got on in the actual European qualifiers. And you can see we're in a group with Liechtenstein, North Macedonia, France, Turkey and Bulgaria. So we kick off the campaign with a 3-0 win against Liechtenstein. You wouldn't expect anything less, would you really? Goals for Oliver McBurney and David Cook. Up next at Hampden, another comfortable 3-0 win. If you're going to qualify, you have to be beating these teams, and that's what we've done there. 6 points about the first 2 games. Had to be done, and to be fair, Steve Clarke did get the job done. Up next in France, it wasn't a repeat of the 2007 Classic. Unfortunately, we lost by 2-0. Kylian Mbappe with the brace. One of them being a penalty, and that gives us a first defeat of the Group H. We bounced back though with a good win at Hampden against Turkey. 2-1. Callum Patterson and David Cook. Who the fuck's David Cook? Let me have a wee look here. I'm not familiar. Oh, he's 21. Looks like he's a regen. He's valued at 13 million. He plays for Man United, so he must be a decent player. He keeps scoring, so I thought we'd check who he is. And yeah, he does look very good, so hopefully he's the man to take us forward in this series. I say take us forward, it's almost finished, but hopefully he can get us into the Euros. So David Cook and Callum Patterson then enough to beat Turkey by 2-1. Up next, another good win, this time 3-0 at home against Bulgaria. McGinn, Fawn and Scott Young with the goals at Hampden, and then another match at Hampden straight after that. Liechtenstein 4-0. Have to beat Liechtenstein, and we did beat Liechtenstein. So 2 games against Liechtenstein, 6 points. That's what I'm talking about. Up next, another win against Macedonia. We've took 12 points against the Diddy teams out of a possible 12, and that's what we had to do, I think, if we were going to have any chance of qualifying here. Jason Cummins and Kieran Tierney. A little bit trickier than we would have liked, but we got the 3 points. That's all that matters. Up next, we got an away defeat in Turkey, and that is not good, guys. That's not what we wanted. So we did previously beat Turkey earlier in the competition, but then losing to them there just has not helped us at all. Up next at Hampden, that's the second defeat now on the bounce, 3rd overall of the group. We've lost to France. Kylian Mbappe again doing the damage, and also Paul Pogba, adding to injury to 2 minutes after. So we did get a goal back through Lewis form, but damage was done. France came at 2-1 winners, and in the end, final game, travelling to Bulgaria, we could only manage a 2-2 draw, but we were 2-0 down, so I guess to get a 2-2 draw, goals to Lewis Fawn and Jason Cummins, it wasn't that bad in the end. So I don't know, guys, what do you think? I'm looking at these results here. 6 wins, 3 defeats and a draw. Is that enough to finish in the top 2 of this group? You know what? I think it's going to be tight, but I just don't see it. I honestly don't see it. We need France to do us a favour. To have any chance, we need France to beat Bulgaria and Turkey twice. Let's see if it happened or not. And it did. Holy shit. So we've actually qualified. Yes. The finale. What a way to end the series. We're actually going to be participating in the Euros. We didn't even need to try and get in through the back door with the Nations League. Albeit, you might pumping away at back doors, but we're not even going to have to on this occasion. So you can see Turkey. What did Turkey falter then? They had 5 wins, one of them against us. So Turkey beat us, and they beat the 2 Diddy teams, but that's the only wins they picked up. They had 2 draws against Bulgaria, so they couldn't manage to beat Bulgaria. And obviously they lost to France twice, and then they lost to us. So we actually didn't do that bad when you look at things. Bulgaria didn't even finish 4th. Jesus Christ, Bulgaria only got 2 wins against Liechtenstein. They beat Liechtenstein 11-0 in aggregate. But they drew against Macedonia and got beat against Macedonia, so shocking results there for Bulgaria. And if Turkey could have just turned one of those Bulgaria wins, one of those Bulgaria draws, into win, they could have been qualifying for the next stage. But fortunately for us, they're not, and we are, guys. And that means we are in the 2024 Euros. Alright, guys, so the time is now. The time is upon us. We're at the 2024 European Championships. I believe it has been held in Belgium. Therefore, they are the opening game. I don't know what group we're in. We will find out. We're just going to go through the fixtures. We'll take it from there. But to kick off the Euros, Belgium with you got to be honest, a kind of disappointing draw against Serbia. I'm pretty sure Belgium would have expected to get all 3 points in their opening game. But it wasn't to be. Up next, Poland beat Turkey in that other group in Group A. And then you see we were obviously drawn in Group B then with ourselves, Czech Republic, Russia, and Germany. So that is a pretty difficult group, to be honest. We're going to struggle, I think, to get out of that, man. It could have been a lot easier, I believe. And in the first game, we drew 2-2 against Czech Republic. And what kind of performance did we put in? You can see, I think we probably edged it 12 shots to their 7. Possession was more or less equal, but we just couldn't get the win. And we took the lead through John McGinn. Czech Republic fired back with 2 goals, and then Callum Patterson got the equaliser in the 62nd minute, and that was enough to get a draw. So at least we didn't lose. I guess if you're going to draw your opening game, it keeps you in contention, whereas a loss, it does put you in the back foot, especially when Germany is one of the other teams in your group. Speaking of Germany, they beat Russia by 3-0. So looks like at this stage, Germany in pole position in Group B. And we'll keep a wee eye out for any other of the home nations in this. Croatia beat Ukraine. Portugal beat Holland. Georgia is in this, and they were drawn with Iceland. So Group D is Georgia and Iceland, and Iceland were held by Georgia by 1-1. It's got to be considered 2 points dropped. France beat Slovenia, that other game in that group. Group E, we've got England and Ireland in the same group. What a feisty tie that would have been. England coming out 2-0 winners. Looked like they dominated in the end. Ireland only having 1 shot on target the entire match. So I think England were deserved winners there. The goals coming through Marcus Rashford and Harry Kane. And that, if both of those guys turn up, then that could be a really deadly strike force. As for the Irish strike force, Ida and Parrott, not a fucking clue who they are, man. Answer us on a postcard, please. Greece beat Norway by 1-0. Sweden beat Spain 2-1, bit of a surprise there. Italy beat Switzerland 3-1. Now we're back, guys, to the second round of the fixture. So Turkey drew with Belgium. 2 draws in a succession for Belgium. They could be going out of this tournament. They really could, unless they actually do something. Then they are fucked. Serbia beat Poland 2-0. And Russia beat Czech Republic. So Russia, after getting smashed after Germany, have beat Czech Republic, and that will give them a chance then to go through. But we're going to find out, guys, how did we go on against Germany? Holy shit, we got smashed even more than Russia did, sorry. Absolutely wrecked. And that means going into the last game against Russia, we're bound to need a win. I don't see how a draw is enough. I really don't. I really just don't see how a draw is going to be enough to get us through. Holland beat Ukraine. Portugal got beat after Croatia by 2-1. France smashed Iceland. Slovenia narrowly beat Georgia. Ireland got a 2-1 win over Greece. England beat Norway. Spain 2-1 over Switzerland. Italy held by Sweden. And now here we go, guys. The last remaining fixtures. Belgium beat Poland by 3-1. So I think Belgium are safely through. That's 5 points for them. Serbia beat Turkey. Have a quick look at this group, and then you can see actually Serbia, Belgium and Poland all qualified, and it's Turkey going home. So I think that's a pretty difficult group, that, and Turkey are the ones to miss out, unfortunately for them. Right, here we go, moment of truth. We're against Russia. We probably need a win. A draw might give us a mathematical chance of going through, but I think we need a win. And we get a win, man. Holy fuck. And we really did need the win there, because Czech Republic drew with Germany. So even a draw I don't think would have given us a chance. I think a draw would have sent us home. But we'll check here what actually happened in the match. We were getting beat. Holy shit, we were 1-0 down and 2-1 down, but we came back late on. Goals for John Marshall, and then Callum Patterson grabbing the winner 5 minutes for time, getting the win. And it looks like we slightly edged the game. 4 shots more on target. Edged the possession. Looks like we just about deserved the win there. Looking at the team, Fawn and Marshall up front, man, a wee bit strange. Don't really know who these guys are. John McGinn, Fraser, Robertson, Tierney. Tierney playing as a centre-back. Suter and Patterson, the defence there is pretty solid, but they weren't solid when we came up against Germany, losing by 4-0, but we're through. Holy shit, Steve Clarke, he's coming good at the end of this series. He's definitely proven to be a success. I think regardless what happens now, I think the Steve Clarke experiment has definitely been a success. I mean, if you offered me this in real life, I probably would take it, albeit I would like to get to a major championship before 2024, you know. I could be dead by the time 2024 comes, but I think overall with the 63% winning rate before coming into this tournament, I just think we've improved a heck of a lot. So hopefully we can sort of mirror this and perhaps do even better in real life. But anyway, let's move on now to the other teams, and you can see Holland, Croatia, drew. Portugal beat Ukraine 2-1. And in that group, it's Croatia, Portugal, Holland that go through. Ukraine get eliminated. And again, it's another very difficult group. You've got to feel for Ukraine. They were just narrowly beaten in every game. They were beaten by 1 goal. And Jesus Christ, Croatia, Holland and Portugal. It's going to be hard for any team to, get points after any of those 3. And I was speaking about our group being tough, but really, at least we weren't Ukraine, because I don't see how we go through in that group. I really don't. And it's Croatia, Portugal, Holland into the next round. And in Group D, probably the easiest group we've seen so far. France have beat Georgia 5-0. Slovenia has beat Iceland by 1-0. And it's France and Slovenia go through rather comfortably in the end. Bit surprised. I thought Iceland would have been the team to join France, but it wasn't to be for them. Still, they beat England in the Euros 2016. That's good enough for me. England beat Greece 2-0. Ireland beat Norway 1-0. I think that means Norway and Greece are out. England and Ireland are through. They are. No, Greece are through as well. 3rd place. They go through with 3 points there, because Greece ended up getting a win over Norway, so that's them through. And then Spain have beat Italy, and Switzerland have beat Sweden. Who's going to go through in this group? It's Spain, Italy, and Sweden. And again, it's a tough tie for Switzerland. That's tough to take. I think 3 points was actually more than some of the 3rd place teams. It's just obviously if you finish 4th, you can't go through, you're out. So I think Switzerland will feel a little bit hard done by there. They've actually beat Sweden, but Sweden, you wouldn't have expected it. Sweden picking up 4 points against Italy and Spain means that Switzerland are the team to go out. So I think Switzerland definitely drew the short straw there. Right, moving on, guys, to the last 16. Holy fuck! We've knocked out Belgium on pens. Jesus Christ, no way, man. Ryan Fraser and John Marshall with the goals. We'd put us 2-0 up. Divock Origi and Yuri Tielemans 2 minutes of time getting the goal. That must have broke Scottish hearts at that stage of the game. We must have thought we were out. It went to penalties, and the brave men that stood up, man, fucking, they should have been in not Die Hard, should have been Braveheart, man. Look at these guys: Stutter, Marshall, Young, McKenna and Robertson. It's all defenders, man. What the fuck? McGinn missed for us, surprisingly. For Belgium, Carrasco, Januzaj, Tielemans and Lukaku scored, and it was Origi and Lille that missed for Belgium, so happy days. We've knocked Belgium out, and that means we're into the last 8, guys, the quarter-finals. Holy fuck. Germany beat Greece 1-0, Croatia lost to Sweden 2-1, Slovenia knocked out Ireland, Spain smashed Holland 4-1, and England beat Poland by 3-1. So we're about to find out, guys, our quarter-final fate. I don't know who we got, but can we beat them? First quarter-final, France against Sweden. France 3-0 sees them into the semis. A convincing win for France in the end. Portugal have knocked out Germany, the hosts. I thought it was Belgium that were originally the hosts. It turns out to be Germany, and Portugal have done the job there on Germany in Stuttgart, the Mercedes-Benz Arena. Ronaldo, well gone in this series. He is retired, but you can see they've still got a decent team. Bernardo Silva, Diego Jota, Joe Felix, Fernandes, Guerrero, solid. Yui Cancelo, man, Andrea and Silva, still got a very solid team, and it was enough to beat Germany. I believe we should be up next. We are up next, and unfortunately that's where the journey ends, guys. 2-0, Spain have beaten us. But I mean, it was a great run. Well, it lasted. A bunch of players booked. McTominay ended up getting sent off in the 64th minute. How did that affect the game? Well, we were already getting beat by that stage, but it wasn't until the 93rd minute of Alvaro Morata got the second goal for Spain that killed us. So it could have been due to us, pushing for an equaliser late on, and I'm sure that McTominay red card, that sending off, will not have helped us at all. Spain dominated the game, 21 shots to 4, 58% possession. I expect them to have more than that, especially if we're going down to 10 men, but it wasn't the case, and I think we can be proud of that effort, even though Spain dominated. The fact that we kept it to 1-0 right until the last kick of the game, I think we put in a good effort there, guys, and we did play with 10 men for 25 minutes, sorry. My maths there was absolute fucking shite, but I got it right eventually. So 25, we'll go with 26 minutes, but it's all the same shit. 26 minutes without Scott McTominay. But unlucky, guys, that is where the journey ends. We'll just quickly see then who ended up winning it. England beat Slovenia. Fuck, please don't let them win it. Come on, we'll never hear the end of it, man. It'll be 1966 all over again. Yes! I thought I was going to have to keep reloading the save until England got beat, but thankfully it is France that puts them in the semi-finals on penalties. And we'll have a quick look here at what happened in this game. France dominated. Look at that, 30 shots to 13. Holy shit, man. France were all over them. And then Mbappe with the French goal, cancelling out the own goal for Aurelia in the 39th minute. And Griezmann missed a penalty, unfortunately. But it was Rashford, Wilson and Sancho that missed for England. So a lot of the English players absolutely pissed in their pants when it came to the penalty shootout. Who will France meet in the final? It's going to be Portugal. Portugal beat Spain in extra time. And then in the final, France will beat Portugal by 3-1. And the goals coming from Mbappe, Dembele and Thomas Lemar. Joe Felix are getting a goal in the 64th minute. Tried to pull one back, but it wasn't enough. And you can see another game, France have dominated. And I think when you look at the stats, I think France did tend to dominate most of the matches. They got an easy group, I'll be honest. Comfortable group. It's no surprise they got through that group, but when they did get to the knockout stages, they did perform. You know, there's no doubt about that. And France are probably worthy winners of this competition. And guys, that is pretty much it then. We're just going to have a quick look and just check what Steve Clarke's winning percentage is just before we leave it then. So as the series, man, I think it was a success. You know, it was not great the fact they didn't qualify for the first two major tournaments, but I do believe that there was always, you know, progress being made. So therefore, I think we've done well enough. Steve Clarke, he finishes with a 60% win record, and I think you'd take that all day long, man. You really would. 6 years and 27 days in charge. Not too bad. World ranking. We have went up. I mean, I don't know where we started, but we're now up at what, 36. It's definitely not a career high, because in the game, because they had us up at 33. You know, earlier a couple of months ago. But I mean, that's still solid. 36th in the world, but we'll settle for that, guys. I don't think that is too bad. See, Kieran Tierney's at Liverpool. Just noticed that. Andy Robertson's at PSG. John Souttar's at Crystal Palace. Some major transfers happened there. You see, Bournemouth still have Ryan Fraser's services. So, interesting stuff there. We're 36th in the world. Kieran Tierney is apparently the key player now. He's overtaken Andy Robertson as the key player. And yeah, man, that is pretty much it, guys. That is how the series ended. Steve Clarke did get in this to a major final, got us to the Euros 2024, got us past the group stage, got us past bloody Spain. But unfortunately, we fell short in the quarter-finals. But that is it, guys. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it, man. It was an experiment series. It took me a lot longer to get this finished than I intended, but that is over now. And I hopefully want to do more experiments in the future that don't drag on for like 10 years, you know. So be looking out for stuff like that. I'm going to be uploading more Football Manager 2019 content. I'm going to get the Hearts save back and running. I'll get the next episode of that uploaded pretty soon, probably later today or tomorrow. And aye, guys, that is it, man. I'm sorry for not being around. I'm sorry for taking breaks, but I am back this time. I mean it. I'm back. I'm raring to go, and I mean business. Just like Scotland meant business by getting to the quarterfinals. I mean business, and I'm going to kick some fucking ass. Steve Clarke style, 6% winning record. But anyway, guys, till next time, been on Scotland 90. Peace.